Hey everybody, it's TJ. Welcome to another episode of Smash Ultimate Countdown, the show where we help you count down the days to the release of Smash Ultimate for Nintendo Switch on December 7th. We're going to break down all the latest announcements on the Smash blog from smashbrothers.com and unpack everything piece by piece. I'll share my thoughts and hopefully spark up a conversation with you. Let's jump right in. First on the agenda, we got Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is a legacy character. Jigglypuff goes all the way back to the first game. A couple episodes back, I had shared my thoughts about Pichu and how I'm not particularly fond of Pokemon outside of the original 150. Well, I'm going to contradict that a little bit here. I was a day one adopter of Smash 64. I've said it before, the game was kind of an underground release when it first came out. Nintendo did not heavily promote it. They just kind of quietly let it trickle out. I had become aware of it because, well, being a Nintendo fan, the idea of taking all these iconic, legendary characters and having them fight each other really was my dream come true. At the time, I was playing a lot of Mortal Kombat and a lot of Street Fighter. Fighting games were probably my favorite, and the only other games that I played were basically Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong. Nothing seemed more compelling than having all those characters fight each other to me. Out of that original cast, there are no duds in the bunch. Every one of them is a legend, a video game icon. So Jigglypuff, I feel like, is kind of out of her element. She's the only one who does not fit into that mix. She's the only one that's not especially significant. Now, I know she had somewhat of a reoccurring role in the anime, and the character is fairly well liked amongst Pokemon players, but in the wider world of gaming, Jigglypuff can't even begin to scratch the surface of Pikachu's level of popularity. Pikachu is somebody who's recognizable the world over, regardless of whether you're a Pokemon fan or not. But I mean, look at that original roster who you have. You have Mario, Link, Donkey Kong, Samus, Fox, Kirby, and then secret characters we got Captain Falcon, Luigi, Ness, and Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff really is the odd duck there, or, well, weird balloon type pocket monster thingy. I know this is a little bit off topic, but there was really no excuse for Little Mac not being amongst that original cast. That was a heinous oversight. So when you have somebody like Little Mac who doesn't make it into a game like Smash Brothers, when they're Nintendo's really only first party fighting game character, and then Jigglypuff gets in there, I don't know, it just always seemed to me like an inappropriate inclusion. But I understand that the reason Jigglypuff was put into the game was because Jigglypuff was an easy clone for Kirby. So you're able to put another character in there that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been there. So it's kind of like the original Echo Fighter. People raged hardcore about how Lucina and Dark Pit were stealing a spot from a more deserving character. Well, the fact is, it's not like we could have had Waluigi instead of one of those characters. Those characters only existed because they happened to have had very similar traits with another character that a lot of development time had gone into, and it would take very little work to be able to create a unique character out of that original character's base. That's what Jigglypuff is. A Kirby Echo Fighter, essentially. Now, throughout the iterations of the game, Jigglypuff has emerged as somewhat more of a unique character, but still sharing a lot of the pink puffball's characteristics, being a pink puffball herself. Jigglypuff has 5 jumps that she can do in the air. She's faster and a better fighter airborne than she is on the ground. I often theorize that the only reason why Jigglypuff was included in subsequent titles of the game was because she was a legacy character. Then I saw this pro gamer Hungrybox, I believe, playing Jigglypuff and just doing the most insane, crazy Jigglypuff moves out there. It really made me come to a point of acceptance that Jigglypuff was not going anywhere. I'm gonna admit I've gotten a little soft on Jigglypuff over the years. Maybe in the beginning, I felt she was a bit of a misfit. I felt like she didn't really deserve a place amongst gaming's greatest icons. But like a lot of other characters who have become more prominently featured in the Smash Brothers series than even in some of their own titles, Jigglypuff has become synonymous with Smash Brothers. Every time a game comes out, there are hardcore Jigglypuff mains, and you know what? I can respect that. Next up on the Smash blog, we have an item to unpack. This time it's a new item introduced for the first time in Smash Bros. Ultimate. It is called the Fake Smash Ball. It looks characteristically remarkably similar to the normal Smash Ball, except whereas the normal Smash icon, the vertical line is the thicker of the two. With the Fake Smash Ball, it's the horizontal line that's thicker. So at first glance, it might be hard to tell them apart. However, if you destroy the fake Smash Ball, the consequences can be dire, and it will explode on you in an X-shaped pattern, and you don't want that to be happening to you. So maybe make a fake play for it so that you can kind of trick your opponents, but then you better make sure you're out of there by the time that that thing breaks down. It reminds me of Super Mario Kart Double Dash. I don't know if you guys have played that game, but it has fake item boxes. As you're getting the real item boxes, one of the items that you can get in that Mario Kart game is this red box. So it became a strategy to pull up to another set of those item boxes and deposit the fake one, so that as people are going through, it's kind of lost amongst the other ones. And it always drove me crazy to run into one of those fake ones where you think you're going to be getting a sweet item to be able to start red shelling the competition. This reminds me of that, and I do like it. I think it adds a level of deception. It kind of layers in a little bit of strategy, a heightened degree of risk, because right now whenever I play the game and I see that Smash Ball, I am one-track mind. I'm going after that Smash Ball nonstop, nothing else matters. And now that you have to kind of give it a second glance, you can't quite go gangbusters for that Smash Ball until you have identified whether or not you actually want to reap the consequences of what happens. A welcome inclusion for me. The song selection this week on SmashBrothers.com is the Galaga medley from the game Galaga, which might at first seem like a little bit of an odd inclusion given that Galaga doesn't really feature any characters. You're in this little space pod and you're shooting at these insect-like creatures. It's a classic arcade game, but when you consider it was made by Namco, things start to add up because Namco has been a contributing developer on Smash Brothers, including Smash Brothers Ultimate, so getting this little title in there, in some way, at least paying homage to this video game classic, is pretty awesome. It's arranged by Yusuke Takahama. It consists of 4 songs and includes sound effects from the game. And a little bit of a fun fact, Galaga actually released the year that I was born. Next up, we get a look at one of the stages. This is a returning stage, Lilac Cruise. We're on a spaceship. It's taking us on a little bit of a tour of the galaxy. This spaceship is going to tilt as you fight from side to side, and that's going to affect the trajectory of your projectiles, and also going to influence your recovery. This is one of those stages where the environment may have a very direct impact of your success during the gameplay. This game pays homage to Star Fox. If you've been following the series, you know that Star Fox is not really my favorite Nintendo franchise. I haven't really gotten into playing too many of the games. However, I do have to say I'm a big fan of all of the Star Fox stages in Smash Brothers. They really feel like there's a lot going on. They're very energetic. It's fun to feel like you're fighting aboard something that is also moving in the space, even though really it's more of an optical illusion because the background is moving, your space is only mildly moving with the lateral tilt. Still, I think it's a lot of fun and I'm glad it's making a return. We've got another character spotlight coming your way. This time it's Wario. Wario has been in the game since Brawl. Wario might be most famously known as Mario's nemesis. Bad Mario or Evil Mario. My first experience with Wario was in Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins for the original Game Boy. I thought he was an awesome villain. Bowser is an amazing villain. So you run into the problem of how do you create another nemesis for this character who already has such a great bad guy? And I think Wario was just an awesome way to do it. And if you think about it, that's not the only time Nintendo went that route. Ganon is an amazing bad guy, and he was Link's first opponent in the original Legend of Zelda. Then in Zelda 2, who's your bad guy? Ganon's not even in that game, except for the game over screen where he's like, with his little Soda Popinski laugh. The enemy of that game is Dark Link. Sorry if I just spoiled a 30-year-old NES game for you. I don't really know if that's much of a secret anymore at this point. But Mario Land 6 Golden Coins was going a similar route, and they introduced this cool new character. Now maybe in the beginning Wario was just another opposition to Mario, but over the years he's really emerged as his own character. A lot of people consider him in Smash Brothers as a Mario character, and that's understandable given that he does appear in a lot of Mario titles. For example, he's in the Mario Sports series, tennis, and most of the other ones really. He's in Super Mario Kart, he's in Mario Party, but as he appears in Smash Brothers, and I know that this is a deliberate decision on the part of the developers, he's not represented in his Mario attire. He's representing his own game series, WarioWare. Wario has not been a Mario exclusive character for some time now. He's really carved out his own identity, and believe it or not, he has starred in, headlined in something like 30 plus titles. He has more solo outings than almost every other character in Smash Brothers, with the exception of like Mario. He and Link are actually pretty close. So is Wario a superstar? You betcha. Wario is a superstar. He's a fun character, he's a playful character, he rides his motorcycle around, he releases noxious fumes from his derriere, natural biological warfare. Is it disgusting? It is, but It's also quite hilarious. I've always been a big fan of Wario. I love that he's in the game, not because I like to play as him, but he is one of the characters that I have the most fun fighting against. So, welcome back, Wario. Even if you don't always get the recognition, I know you're a legend in your own right. And the final item on the list for this week is an assist trophy in the form of Rodin, a Bayonetta character, one who I'm not particularly familiar with as I barely played the Bayonetta games at all. At first blush, he looks like a pretty tough warrior. Upon second blush, he looks like a really tough warrior. He appears to have that dimensional demon fist technique that Bayonetta utilizes in her special moves. The blurb on the Smash blog also mentions his ability to potentially leave you a weapon, a powerful weapon upon his departure, so I don't really know what that would be. Maybe it's a callback to the Bayonetta games. For whatever reason, the Bayonetta games just didn't quite capture me. I'm impressed by them. I think that they play super smooth and they look amazing. I think Bayonetta is a super cool and dynamic character, and it's nice that other elements of her game can make a contribution to Smash Brothers. As you all know, Bayonetta was the character that won the Smash Ballot, got the most votes of realizable characters, whatever that means according to Nintendo, and so Bayonetta was included as the final character in the final roster for Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS. But I want to know, who did you vote for? Who did you want to see added into Smash Brothers 4? As for myself, I voted for Simon Belmont. I have found a way to work Simon Belmont's name into just about every episode of Smash Ultimate Countdown so far. I'm still holding out hope he's going to make his way into Smash Ultimate. So work those fingers, leave a comment in the comment section letting me know who you voted for the Smash Ballot. And that wraps up another episode of Smash Ultimate Countdown. As always, I really appreciate you joining me. If this show is helping you pass the time between now and December 7th when Smash Brothers releases for the Nintendo Switch, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Go ahead and smash that like button. I dare you. Share this playlist with any friends that you have who might be into Smash Brothers. Special thanks to all my patrons out there. I love you guys. Until next time, thanks for playing.